Welcome to the CEO Fix Show, 20 minutes or less of powerful, practical, and actionable strategy to disrupt the habits of overworking, elevate your mindset around being a CEO, and help you continue to scale and grow your business without overwhelm. I'm CEO strategist Tarkessa Colvin. Let's get started. Welcome to today's episode of the podcast. So I'm excited about today's topic because it changed the game for me. So we're going to talk about CEO time mind shift. The way that we think about time just in general is a little bit different than how we need to think about time when we're a CEO. So when we think about time, we try to split our time down, like right down the middle, and call it balance. But that doesn't really work. Okay, so think about it. And let's do some math, right? So there's 24 hours in a day. Nobody has more, nobody has less. So if your vision or your understanding of balance means that you split it down the middle, that means you would have to split your day in half. That's 12 hours for business and 12 hours for personal. But if you're doing the math that way, which maths, right? Half of 24 is 12. That's not balance. That's not viable. And the reason is because you have to sleep and we'll say the standard, at least 8 hours. So where are you going to pull that time from? Are you going to pull it from the business hours or are you going to pull it from the personal hours? Like that, thinking of balancing your time as in splitting things right down the middle just doesn't work. And that's not balance. And that's going to be stressful even trying to do that. And the concept overall just doesn't make sense. So there were two principles that I learned in the process of being a business leader and a business owner that really helped me to create my own version of balance. And when I say my own version of balance, balance is subjective. It's like perfection. Perfect for one person is not perfect for another. And the same applies to balance. So the first thing is you need to understand this. As a CEO, it is crucial for you to understand that your time is valuable as a CEO. That means that your time actually has an amount of money that it equates to, because that time is dedicated to generating revenue, income, profit in your business. Why is that important? Because when you're operating your business and you understand that your time is valuable, I promise you, I guarantee you won't be spending time on tasks that don't benefit the business. So for example, if you're not good at graphics and you're spending 7 hours in Canva or trying to build a funnel and it's not what you do, you're going to have an understanding that you're actually costing your company money, right? So an example I love to use is when I was a publishing consultant and my hourly rate was $1,250. So think about that. If I was spending, 6 hours or so in Canva, and don't get me wrong, I love Canva and I'm actually pretty good at it, but if my hourly rate is $1,250 an hour and I'm spending all of that time in Canva, trying to center something or trying to get a font right or whatever, what's the ROI on that? What's the return on investment for that? And as a matter of fact, let me take it a step further. We always talk about ROI. We don't ever consider COI, which is the cost of inaction. So how much does it cost to not make certain actions that need your attention, right? So while I'm spending time in Canva, there's other things that I need to be doing, like prospecting or whatever it is that I do as a CEO, holding the vision, making sure that I have the right people in place. It's costing me money to not act on the things that I really need to be doing. So going back to Canva. So I'm in there, 5 hours. My hourly rate is $1,250 an hour. That means I've wasted $6,250 playing around in Canva when I could have probably hired someone, outsourced the project, any number of things that would cost way less than $6,250, right? So understand that there's a cost to you not taking certain actions. As the CEO, there's a cost to that. And so when you are focused on things that you don't need to be focused on as the owner and the visionary of your business, you put your company at a deficit. So Going back to what I said earlier, you have to understand that your time as a CEO is valuable because there's a dollar amount attached to it. I hope that makes sense. So once I understood that, I started to shift some things, right? And I, when you compare that to like my toxic pricing test that I've walked you guys through, you start to understand where you're having these energy gaps and these money leaks in your business that are essentially stressing you out and keeping you from doing and having the business that you desired in the first place. So that was one. The second thing, which is going to sound like a total contradiction, but it's going to make sense, I promise. You must understand that your personal time, and this is how I define personal time, it's the moments that become memories. That's your personal time. That time is invaluable. The reason that I say it that way is so that you understand it's untouchable. CEO time, the time is valuable. Time is money. Personal time is invaluable. Like there's no amount of money that's going to make you just toss out those moments that become memories. So no amount of money is going to pull me out of the family time. No amount of money is going to pull me out of my child's play. No amount of money is going to pull me away from my anniversary dinner. You see the difference? When you understand those two different boundaries, it will prevent you from having bleed over. It will prevent you from being torn between your business and your personal. Now, I hope that's making sense. That was a game changer for me. That was the CEO time mind shift for me. Okay. Now, when you have those two understandings, you have two different ways to evaluate the things that need to be scheduled or the things that need your attention. Okay. Like I said before, seeing your child play in a play or, playing the sugar plum fairy, you're going to have a way to make sure that that invaluable time is untouched. You're going to have an absolute way to make sure that it's not affected by your work and the demands of your work. So now that you have an understanding of that CEO time versus that personal, that invaluable time, let me tell you some tools that you can use, and they won't be shocking. I promise you they won't. You can use your calendar. Using your calendar to make sure that you have things blocked off, that you are scheduling your business things during business hours and staying within that boundary, making sure that you block off days that you need and want to spend with your family. All of those things go onto the calendar. Your calendar is not just for business. It's for organizing your time. It's for making sure that nothing sneaks up on you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying just overuse the calendar to the point where you're like, oh, this is when I go to the bathroom. Or what I'm saying is make sure that the things that matter are on your calendar, including days off. Make sure that you scheduled your time off, your time away from the office, even the weekends. And if at all possible, if you're at the point where you have a VA or an office manager or something like that, make sure that they have access to your calendar. Not to put things on there per se, but to know, oh, this is an untouchable time. Color code it if you have to. If it's purple, that means there's no flexibility and business can't go in that space. Make sure that you do that. Otherwise, you won't hold the boundary. And before you know it, you're back to all of the things that are leading up to this burnout that you're feeling. You're feeling overworked and overwhelmed. You're feeling disconnected from your family. Your family feels like you care more about your laptop or your cell phone or Zoom or whatever than you do about what's going on with them or building connection with them or maintaining connection with them. Focus in on the CEO time mind shifts, like I mentioned before. It seems simple. And conceptually, they are very simple as a concept. The challenge is going to be you actually applying the understanding of this process. So however that looks for you, if that means setting up reminders on your phone, if that means making sure that you have your calendar, if that means, and this was what I had to do, if that means having a business and a personal phone, then do that. If that means making sure that your business email isn't set up on your personal phone, I encourage you to do that as well. Do what's necessary to make sure that you don't miss those moments that become memories because you are operating as the CEO all the time and time is money. Okay, that's my tip and my how I did a piece of the CEO flip for me. That was a switch flip for me. And so I share that, and people are usually amazed by how simple it is, but it is tough executing. It's just like working any other muscle or strengthening any other muscle. It doesn't start out so great. But the ultimate result, if you keep at it, is that you have the balance that works for you and you get to be profitable in your business and you get to have peace of mind about your business, but you also get to be present and free in your life. I hope that helps. You can find more tips and more information on how to actually execute some of this inside of our Facebook group for CEOs. It's a free Facebook group. We would love to see you on the inside. All you have to do is go to whole, WHOLE CEO.com. Don't forget to answer the 3 questions, and we'll see you on the inside.